Now, we know Anne Hegerty as the Governess. She's tough and brutally honest on Australia's favourite quiz show, The Chase.
But there's a lot more to the woman behind this formidable character. Now, Anne Hegerty has shown her softer side and fans can't get enough.
The Governess doesn't hold back.
Hello, Julia.
Hi.
You're an art student.
Yes.
I love art students.
Oh,
who else is going to deliver my pizza?
On Australia's 5 o'clock obsession, The Chase, Anne Hegerty is a tough opponent.
You're a nurse.
I am.
Well, unlike you, when I say this won't hurt a bit, I can admit I'm lying.
Both here and in the UK, the Governess is almost impossible to beat.
Well, on any other team, 6,000 would be an excellent amount to bring home. I think in your case, it rather makes you the weakest link.
That wouldn't be the first time, Anne.
But out of the Governess suit, Anne Hegerty has a softer side.
Oh, God! Oh, God!
The 60-year-old is passionate about autism awareness and has shared what it's like to live with Aspergers.
I'm never lonely and rarely bored.
Cool.
The most boring thing would be to be with people who just, you know, wouldn't shut up.
The Governess, Anne Hegerty, joins us now. Anne, good morning. Welcome
Good morning.
to Sunrise.
Thank you.
So how does your role as what we see on TV, how does that differ to you at home?
Well, I mean, there's an element of me in there, and oddly enough, people who've known me for a long time tend to think the Governess is more like me than people who've only known me for about sort of 10 years.
Right.
So obviously I'm drawing on something of myself. There's something of my grandmother in there, who, she was a prize bitch. Am I allowed to say that? She really was. And one of my aunts. Yeah, it's been suggested to me that she's a bit like Professor McGonagall in the Harry Potter books.
Yes.
Even more so in the films. And I sort of think, yeah, there's probably a bit of that in there. Just no nonsense battle axe.
Yes.
You've been very open about living with Aspergers. How do you balance your sort of celebrity life with that sort of autism?
It's more difficult than people think. I've seen people say, oh, she's not really autistic because, you know, an autistic person couldn't cope that well. And actually, I just expend an enormous amount of mental energy just getting myself, you know, up and dressed into the studio and getting myself... I live 200 miles away from where it's filmed, so just getting everything in the car, going to the hotel, checking in, unpacking, that absolutely exhausts me. And I'm looking to perhaps rent down south, so that I wouldn't have to do so much of that. But I hardly ever do any housework at home because I can't really get my brain wired up to do it. You have no idea what a tip it is at home, really.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
But hang on, so why not why put yourself through it? Because TV careers there's a lot of energy going out when you're on the television. Why do it? How do you balance it, actually, is probably a better way to put it.
The thing is, when I get to the studio, you know, once I've been made up and everything, I'm down on the studio floor being mic'd and I'm watching on the monitor the contestants, and at that point I can feel my shoulders sort of sink, and I just think, now I know what I'm doing. Now this is my neighbourhood, this is my territory. But you know, up until now, I've spent the morning. Okay, got to have a shower, got to get dry, got to get dressed, got to have breakfast, then got to clean my teeth. And that is, you know, you've got to go through that. But being a chaser, being a quizzer, I can do that.
But then, being on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, the UK version, must have been a nightmare for her. It must have been torture.
Absolutely was. It really was. I mean, we came into camp on the Saturday, and I swear I lay awake most of the night crying. And the following morning, I went into the Bush Telegraph and said, "That's it. I can't do it. I'm out of here." And they said, "OK, give it a few more hours. Just think about it." And I had conversations with the medics and so forth, and conversations with my campmates who were just lovely. My campmates were absolutely, hands down, the best thing about doing it. 10 absolutely lovely people. And they basically got me to stay. And after a few days, I was like, OK, I can, especially when we came out of the horrible camp into the main camp. And the following morning, I remember waking up thinking, I can actually imagine staying till I get voted off. I can imagine not walking. But it was terrifying.
There's a lot of people out there responding very well to you and telling your story and explaining, you know, what goes on in your life. So good on you for doing that.
Yeah.
And
I didn't really go in there. Everyone says she went in there to raise autism awareness. I kind of didn't. I went in there for the money. I've said this before, and everyone thinks I'm joking. You know, my campmates asked me about it, and you know, did I mind talking about it? And I was like, no, you know, I wasn't planning on raising the subject because I didn't want to be like, no, guys, let me tell you about this frightfully interesting thing about me that, you know, you've all got to know. But it was like, if you want me to, you know, if you ask me questions, I'm happy to talk about it.
Well, great stuff. We can't wait to see you back on the chase. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.